All right, guys. Well, welcome back to Cassone's RV here in Mesa, Arizona. And it's been a while since we've been here, and generally when we're here, that means we're working on a Winnebago roof. And that would not be an incorrect assumption if that's what you're thinking. Now, while I generally try to have a lot of fun when we do these Winnebago roofs together, this is going to be a little bit more subdued and a lot more of a cautionary tale, because I had not just one, but two viewers contact me about their Winnebago journeys. And it's been quite a journey for them as owners. Now, the first owner contacted me on this, I think it's a 2004 Winnebago Journey, after the work had been completed by the shop, and he picked it up and he noticed at the time that the roof had sagged quite a bit at the front and at the back. Now, when did you get this done?
We sent it to him last October, and it was finished in November.
All right, so last November. That was only, what, 4 months ago?
Yeah.
5 months ago? We got a long straight edge here. It's about the high point. It's a little bit of a gap right about there. We'll call it 1.25 inches. Got another low spot right there, but that's not even really fair because
This whole section's a low spot.
it's all low spot here. Right at the front here, about another 1.5 inches, 3/8. Yeah, I think we'll have to maybe do a side profile, take a look at it too. All right, so here's a side profile view of it. Should be able to see a little bit of a low spot. Pretty obvious there. And here it is on the front. It's pretty much just flat on the front here, from the front cap back. TV antenna is kind of in the way. I'm kind of surprised they didn't upgrade the TV antenna. And that the roof was a little bit wonky is the best way to put it. Now, he was assured by the shop that did the work that that's completely normal, and this is things that happen in the Arizona sun, but that the roof itself was fine. He still picked it up and paid for it, but he had a lot of reservations about the condition of the roof when he got it. So it's all very heartbreaking. We'll have to go inside because apparently the ceiling is touching the slide out too.
Go ahead.
All right. So
Oh, yeah.
right now we're resting on the molding here, which is strange too because Winnebago doesn't put this molding on. Did they add that or was it already there?
Don't know. Yeah, this isn't there when we got it. That's generally not there.
You ready to do it? Can you push? I can push a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta be strong. You could lift the whole roof.
Yeah, it's got to go up quite a bit.
So it is. Yeah.
So yeah, you can't even see the front ceiling there.
Let's get out of the way.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you can't even see.
substantially worse on the driver's side.
It's very low there in the middle. And he reached out to me to see my opinion about it, and I said, yeah, it doesn't look right. And he brought it to me to take a look at it, and I assured him that this was not done correctly, especially because they hadn't taken the front and rear caps off. So they didn't get the Phylon tucked underneath the front and rear caps. And I suspect the biggest problem is when they did do this roof, when they pulled off the Phylon or the fiberglass, they pulled off all the Luan paneling all at the same time. And so it lost all of its laminated structure and the whole roof collapsed at that point. So that's the one thing I always tell people not to do. Just do it one panel at a time. But now I'm recommending you support it on the inside too, so this doesn't happen. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to accept any work at the time that he contacted me because my life's been a little bit hectic here lately. And starting a job like this, it needs to get started and done as soon as possible so you reduce any sort of damage that can happen to the RV while it's exposed like this. And it's lamination. The longer it's unlaminated, the weaker it gets. So I did have him bring it to the shop at Cassone's RV, and they went ahead and started doing the repairs on it. So they've already ripped off the roof. So the guys over here at Cassone's have already done a pretty good job of ripping off the roof. We can answer the question of if reusing the old stuff is useful or not. It's not. They have the Phylon removed on here. There's a big dip right in here. Now it's not uncommon for the front to ramp up a little bit to go over the front cap area, but it should not be quite so. There should not be a cup on the roof there. And you can see another one pretty pronounced on the back bedroom there. What they're gonna have to do is get the rest of the luan off of right here. Then they have the beam, an I-beam, a wooden I-beam they're gonna put inside to raise the peak of the roof back up again. And then we're gonna have to go ahead and add tube of framing all the way around because this was not done correctly at all. Here's we can determine when they pulled off the roof material. They didn't spray the glue out. They rolled it with like a roller. Like I've never had success even getting half a roll with this glue, but they used so much of it that they were able to roll it out. That when it went in between the seams right there, because they didn't use the foam safe glue, it melted the foam. You can see it there. You can actually see drips of the adhesive. You can see where it melted the foam in between the seams again to it. So I think they rolled and then rolled the Phylon down in. So this spray adhesive that they use is a contact adhesive. You're supposed to apply it to both sides of the surfaces so that the contact is what is the adhesive. It's not supposed to just be bonded into it like a water-based glue. Now, no sooner had Cassone's RV put together the estimate on the 2004 Journey than I had another viewer contact me about a 2009 Journey that they had just gone to the repair shop to pick up and were completely dissatisfied with what they saw because it was bubbly everywhere. The roof hadn't collapsed, but the whole roof had delaminated, and the shop was saying, yeah, it's ready to go. Pay us your money, you got a new RV roof. And he declined to make the payment and reached out to me with the pictures and said, this doesn't look right, does it? And I said, no, it doesn't look right. Now that Journey was the first one that came in from that service center. Again, he reached out to me to do the work, but unfortunately it's not something I could do at this time. And so I referred him to Cassone's, and he basically picked up the RV, drove it straight to Cassone's and had them take a look at it. And because the RV is worthless without a roof, the Cassone's is already doing the work on it too. And they haven't taken off the luan yet on this one. And you can see how thick that glue is because they just rolled it out. They didn't spray it on there. It's also a little bit telling. While this roof came in because it was just falling apart, the ceiling was hitting the slide underneath as it went in and out because it was so uneven. This one over here, the owner actually refused to pick up delivery when the roof was installed, and the service center called because when he got on the roof and inspected it, it was all bubbled. And the nearest we can tell is because they rolled it out so thick, that adhesive, that the gases didn't get a chance to actually get out of the solvents, and so it kept off-gassing and they got trapped. So it was very, very bubbly, this whole surface. I really would have liked to have helped out this owner and this owner a lot more. My schedule's just been so incredibly tight that I had to reach out to Cassone's RV and have them do the bulk of the work. So unfortunately, this is a little bit of a cautionary tale, not just to be aware that Winnebago roofs do like to delaminate, but you really do need to make sure that when you do take it to a shop, you're taking it to a shop that's going to solve the problem, knows what they're doing when they're going to go ahead and repair it. At least both these owners were savvy enough to recognize that they got on the roof to inspect the roof, or the new roof, and make sure it was done correctly, and neither one of them were satisfied with it. And I think they did come to an arrangement or an agreement with the shop about not paying for it, so they're not out of pocket twice that I'm aware of. This is a very unfortunate situation. I'm going to do my best to help along and follow along during this procedure, but like I said, it's just not something I could take on 2 roofs, let alone 1 roof right now. So I'm glad to help if I can. I'm glad to follow along and find how the roof is going to be repaired correctly and securely this time. What I hope I'm not putting out is that there's a bad shop out there doing bad Winnebago roofs. I'm hoping that shop has now learned how to do a Winnebago roof correctly. I know I have a number of videos out there to tell people how to do it. I've even had a lot of viewers telling me that following the steps, they were able to do the roofs themselves too. They did point out that it's a lot of work, probably nothing they want to do again. So I'm hoping that that shop will now learn how to do it a little bit better. But even our procedure, if you follow along from the beginning, it has changed quite a bit as we've learned different situations for these roofs. And that's where we now support every roof inside framing, because we've had at least one job that went a little bit bad too on us. I had stated trying to make framing that had a crown on it all the way down where the crown's going to change every time is not something I'd ever want to do, but it's something that we've been having to do because of the nature of these Winnebago roofs, especially the newer ones. And unfortunately, we all have to learn somehow, and that's how it works. Actually, we've had another one where it delaminated because I didn't get the radiuses cut quite well enough, and so it started to delaminate. The radius were putting too much pressure to lifting it up off the deck. While perfection is not a standard that we strive for, we do strive for at least factory and of course longevity, at least 10 years, hopefully another 20 years out of each one of these roofs that we do. Because without a roof, an RV is pretty worthless. So I hope that everybody just takes this as a cautionary tale to make sure that you take a look and understand that the shop knows what they're doing, what your expectations are when it's done, and what to expect if you have any of these incidents happen to you. Basically, if you aren't happy with the shop's work, don't give them the money. Hold off on picking it up and get somebody to take a look at it beforehand. So this 2006 Journey is gonna have a pretty big repair on it. It's an absolute shame. Feel bad about everybody involved in this. Well, it looks like you got 5 of them done. You ready to lay them out? That's a pretty cool design you got. But we're gonna make these roofs correct, and it's gonna look good when it's done. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Let me ask you this question. Would it help if I help?
Always.
So what the crew's gonna have to do is obviously get the roof off. So what they're gonna have to do is get the rest of this the condition of the seams at the front and the rear, and basically the overall workmanship of it was not enough to really justify the price that was paid for it. This is quite tragic because it's not just one, but 2 Winnebago Journey owners. One's a 2003, and I think the other one's a 2009, that had to suffer the disappointment of their original Winnebago laminated roof delaminating, falling apart. But they got a local shop to them, and they're independent. So these 2 customers don't know each other, but they both chose the exact same shop to rebuild their Winnebago roofs. And things didn't go very well for either one of them.